Hello class, there's one other lesson that I want to go over with you guys this week that's also very, very important. And there's 4 ways that you could decipher a text. 1, you can summarize it, which we talked about. Another way is to evaluate it. Another way is to analyze it. And the last way is to synthesize it. So summary, we've already gone over that. Pretty self-explanatory. You're just getting the gist, the who, what, when, where, and why. But the thing about summary that I wasn't clear about in the other video, you're not judging. You're not being biased. You're just saying this is what it said, right? This is it. This is what, who, what, when, where, and why. This is what was being said. Now, if I'm evaluating something, then I'm putting a judgment on it. I'm judging it. Right? So if you've ever been at work, you've probably had an evaluation. They're going to talk about what you're doing right, what you could do better, but you're making a judgment on something, right? And then analyzing is small part. Looking at a small piece of a text and analyzing what it's going to say. We're going to get into Henry David Thoreau pretty soon, and we're going to be analyzing a lot of what he says, a lot of the small passages and what they mean in the greater picture. But summarizing is just looking at everything being said. Analyzing is just looking at something specific that's being said, breaking it down, deconstructing it. Evaluating is judging it. This is a bad quote. This is a great quote. Why? Right? And then the last part would be synthesis. If you've ever played with a keyboard or synthesizer, it blends sounds. It's blending. So I might take a quote from Henry David Thoreau, I might take a quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson and blend them together. I might be writing an essay where I have a quote by Thoreau, a quote by Emerson, and I might use both of those quotes to establish a point. But let's see, I would say these skills are very applicable to writing. Especially when you start doing research with an essay, because a lot of times you'll have to summarize your research, you'll have to evaluate your research, you might have to say this is a bad quote, it's a great quote, it's a great study, this is a bad study, and tell me why. You might have to look at a small part, analyze a small part of a quote or a word. I took Chinese in college, and my Chinese teacher wrote a whole 100-page dissertation on the letter A. Right? That sounds insane. But that would be analysis, right? Analysis, just looking and decoding what one single word could mean. And then synthesizing, like I said before, you're going to be blending quotes all the time in college if you're writing a paper. You're going to be using multiple sources to support an argument. So again, this is a very, very important lesson. This is a great foundation for us to start with and to build on.